All right, what's the difference between being on a team with Kobe and a team with LeBron?
See, I was at different stages of my life and career with both players. So with Kobe, I was super young. I was in my prime. Not that I was egotistical, but I felt highly of myself because of my accomplishments.
Right.
And I've never had a superstar teammate. So I think we bumped heads because of the age gap for one, and me just never experiencing what it's like to have another, alpha star like that on the team.
Right.
I don't think we bumped heads a lot like Paul's. I know he was waiting. He was waiting on me that time. As soon as I said that, no, but man, we got into it, but it was more so because the age gap. And as I got older, I started to realize that more of how he felt. And as a young ball player, you're not seeing that. You think the game lasts forever. And, when you get older, you see, hey, I ain't got that same amount of time and energy to put into this, that, and the third.
Right.
And it seemed like we fell out, but it wasn't really like we fell out. We just had some disagreements on the court like any other team and any other teammate. But, man, Kobe and LeBron. LeBron almost act like somebody from the South Side in Georgia. Yeah, we act kind of like twins, joking, silly, have a good time. We get on the court, we still gonna have a good time, but we gonna dominate. Kobe ain't bullshitting with nobody. He might not come to the locker room and talk, and everybody so he just gonna walk all the way past us. Not got nobody up, give a head nod or nothing. He just walk past us, but. That's just how he would come in. I guess now looking back on it, he probably was doing that just to get everybody ready for practice because we too loud. He coming in there, we joking around, laughing. But, he was just a little different. He was just serious. Different in his approach. Yeah, but that's Kobe. That's what made him who he is.
Mamba mentality.
See, what do you think what he mean by the Mamba mentality?
I think going through the things that Kobe went through, especially fighting the case and all that stuff, but still lacing up and getting on the court and putting up his numbers. I think that's where that Mamba mentality comes from. That, I block everything out. All I see is the game. Even though all this shit, these headlines and all that shit is going down, I block everything out. It's like, that's it. I'm on it.
I thought he was on that before the case. To me, it just seemed like
it got worse.
Chasing Jordan was all it was.
That's what I was gonna say.
Whatever happens, fuck all this other stuff. Nah, that guy. I gotta catch those rings. I gotta be compared to that. Like, he's one. I gotta be number one. I gotta beat him. And it just felt like nothing else was as important as catching Mike.
Right.
But I think I feel like he wasn't trying to. I feel like he started out trying to catch Mike, and then after a while he said, "I'm Kobe Bryant. I don't need to catch Mike. I could just do me."
Right.
Because literally everything Michael Jordan did, he did it times two.
You think?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Jordan was a mid-range shooter. Kobe could shoot threes. Jordan, I think Kobe played, I can't say he played better defense than Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan had a defensive player.
Well, it's two different eras.
That's true. But Kobe played in both eras.
But Kobe played in the latter end of Jordan's era.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I feel like Kobe, skill-wise, he could do more than Jordan.
But Jordan had that game where Jordan could shoot threes. He just wasn't his main thing to shoot.
He wasn't as efficient.
Right.
So he stuck with the twos.
Jordan?
Nah. See the Jordan argument.
shot enough threes.
It's always gonna come down to this, bro.
Six
rings.
Always gonna come
Facts.
down to this.
Mhm.
If
No-
you can't
no
do
game
this,
seven.
that's gonna be the one thing that a person is always gonna be able to say. But
So
they
then
ain't
what
got
about
it.
Bill Russell? Is he the greatest?
Totally different era.
But he got
Gotta
12
be.
rings. You just
But-
said
but-
you
but-
just did like
but
this.
The greatest, okay. Here's how I've always looked at this. There's the best, and then there's the greatest. You may not be the greatest and still be the best, right? Greatest, I've always attributed to accolades, Grammys, Oscars, rings, like greatness as far as what you can hold
Tangible.
again. Tangible. That's the word I was
Tangible,
looking
yeah.
for. Meanwhile, the best is the guy who will smoke the greatest if all things were even. If all things
Okay.
were even,
Okay.
10 times out of 10, I'm a dog walk you. Like you can't do anything with me. But you have all the accolades, et cetera, et cetera. So I looked at Bill Russell as like the greatest winner in the NBA off the strength of all those rings.
Right.
Was he a better? Nah, the skills weren't as honed. It wasn't as defined. The game was different, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So you can't even. It's a bad
a wash.
comparison.
It's a wash.
But winning wise, yes, the greatest winner in the history of the NBA, hands down. He runs out of fingers.
Right.
Okay.
But skill wise, the best player,
What about Kareem then?
same thing.
How?
As far as what? No, I don't call him the greatest winner.
I'm talking
But-
about the best player.
He's one of them.
One of them.
So,
He's one of them.
So the best player would be who to you?
I think all around game is probably Jordan.
All around game.
All around. When you say the best, I start thinking of in all areas. Where was there a weakness? Where was there something he couldn't do? And Jordan, and I'm talking to an NBA player, so this is just me talking. I'm not. These aren't facts. It's just my feeling. I looked at Jordan as having the best, or being the best all around
Overall
NBA
game.
overall NBA player. Defense, offense, assists, like whatever it was necessary, he had it in the bag, and he could excel at it. And when you get the intangibles, marketing, et cetera, like globalizing the game, everybody went like putting the campaign behind him, which is different.
I mean, the man took a year off, came back, and got 3 more rings, bro.
Then there's that.
Went and played baseball.
Yeah,
And golf.
Wasn't good at it.
always
Yeah,
play
nah.
golf.
But I think what's missing real quick is the fact that we take away the whole thing of the generational
Yeah.
situation, like how basketball evolved
Right.
over time. Think
You
about
had
how
Will-
Bill Russell
you had Will
and Kareem
Chamberlain.
Abdul-Jabbar was playing ball back then with skippies on a Converse on flat freaking ground.
And Hoochie
And then
Daddies.
and Hoochie Daddy shorts, yeah. And then it evolved, and you see Jordan doing astronomical things because things changed. The environment,
Environment
the
changed.
people,
And then
the
there's a
rules.
generation who saw Jordan, who enters the NBA, and after a while, you see all this greatness,
Right.
and now every team has like 2 superstars, 3 superstars,
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it
Like
evolved.
at any given moment, like we're pretty much rolling the dice when it comes to who's going to be in the championship now.
Right.
It's like I don't know.
Imagine Jordan's skill set with Steph Curry's mentality. Like it had Steph into the way he switched up, changed the league. It's now no longer an ISO game; it's a team game. And he's shooting from the half court, damn near, and hitting them.
Yeah.
Imagine that the step back. Jordan never had a step back. He never, they didn't have
Euro
a step
steps
back
and all
then.
that.
Yeah. The Euro, like so many different.
Who do you think is the greatest player?
I think it's 1A and 1B with Kareem and Jordan.
Kareem and Jordan,
And then LeBron right there.
and then LeBron right
And
there,
Kobe.
then Kobe.
Kobe
So you
number
put
4.
you put LeBron before Kobe.
It's like they like 2 and 3. Well, 3 and 4, I'm sorry.
Right. Leave it in the comments. 'Cause I know y'all about to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this
y'all about to wild
Leave
out.
it in the
Crazy.
comments,
They
my
gonna
nigga.
wild
Leave it in
out.
the comments.
They gonna say LeBron. Everybody say LeBron.
I don't think
I
so.
think Kobe.
They gonna say Kobe. They're gonna say Kobe.
You got something that's gonna say LeBron though.
Yeah, I mean facts,
It's a
but
lot.
I
But
saw
think
a lot
they don't
of
never put big man. Why is no big man ever put in these
because
categories?
y'all look closer to the rim, man.
That makes it
too
harder.
easy for
It makes it harder.
It doesn't look like that.
What do you mean?
How does it make it harder?
Okay, so for Kareem to score how many points? 38,000, something like that, without threes. You don't think that's harder?
Yeah, that's definitely harder.
He scored the same amount of points LeBron did in less time with no threes and in a different era. You don't think that's harder?
I agree with that.
Even though the basket's right there, it's harder to get to the rim because you're playing against people that's big too. What do you like? And they blocking off the paint. It's not just that easy.
Right.
So I feel like it would be harder to score in the paint than you shooting jump shots and stuff like that because the guy can give you space. But in the paint, it's no space. You got to
Physical
create
contact.
space, and you always fighting for position. You fighting to do everything. You got to jump in the paint.
Right, but there's probably one other person on the court that can actually block you.
That's not true.
Because they
not
beating
true.
you up the moment you come to the hole, pause, they beating you up.
That's a pause.
Yeah, that's a pause.
What you say after that? Pause that too.
Double pause, but yeah.
Gat, you deserve all.
Hold on.
Facts.
Pause, I'm gonna pause this. Once you're a big man, pause. You're going to the hole, you're gonna get beat up every time.
Correct.
That's why you gotta know those fights. Because you was getting beat up every time you went to the hole.
But see, yeah, and then they tell us y'all are strong, so y'all could take the punishment of people hitting y'all and stuff like that. So it might be a little different.
Right.
When the guards go to the hole, they get fouled, they gonna call it. But for us, we get they're not. So it's gonna be. I think it's harder for the
Is
big
that
man
why
to
they say
score.
LeBron flops a lot?
I don't know what they
That's
say.
my that's my understanding.
That he flopped a lot.
That I feel like, yo, for a big man, you have to like flop
No,
for them
you-
to be
that's-
like, yo, I got it.
They're not gonna call a foul. Every time I would flop in the game, you know what everybody say? He too soft, man. He too big. Why is he flopping? Why you flopping, Dwight? What you doing?
It's a fact.
That's because everybody's saying, bro, you gotta flop. Everybody telling me, yo, you gotta try to let them see that you're getting fouled.
Yeah, right.
That shit don't work.
But that
LeBron, though.
It don't work for LeBron.
Not all the time.
You saw him
Not all the time.
just what about when they played in Boston? He ran around the whole court crying. and Pat Beverly had the
Came out with the
camera
camera,
like,
yeah.
look, that's a foul. LeBron was on the ground like, please, look, that's a like, come on, you see, everybody knows.
God, it's crazy.
That's
Come
a
on.
fact.
How do you perfect the flop?
You can't
Ew.
you can't just no flopping, man. Just
Who?
Just who?
just go take it and finish.
That's it.
Pause.
Yo, this nigga's crazy.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.